Usap-usapan pa rin ang panalo ng Ateneo kontra sa dating unbeaten na Salle itong nakarang Sabado. Paano nga ba natalo ng Blue Eagles ang Mighty Pino Archers? At may chance ba ba ang proud darlings ng UP Maroons at NU Bulldogs na makapasok sa Final Four? Makakausap natin ngayon ang Managing Editor ng NBA.com Philippines, Nax. Excuse me, may bagong title. At basketball blogger na si Adrian D. Para talakayan yan. Aids, welcome back to The Score.
Thanks for having
Boss namin yan sa NBA.com.ph. Okay, well, kampi muna tayo. SOC UAAP. Big discussion, of course, still. It was a shocker over the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Coming into the game, did you see anything like that possibly happening in terms of maybe how LaSalle was playing poor or how good Ateneo was playing or the long layoff?
I made plans to do something else in that game.
You didn't even
I
try
checked
to
the
watch.
score. I was like, wait, teka, but so I had to find the TV.
Okay.
I was saying kanina, but like, no, I don't think a lot of people thought na posible to. As I recall, like, my sister was checking for tickets the night before. May patron seats pa the
May
night
patron
before.
seats ba?
So parang,
What?
I don't think a lot of people really saw this. And going into that game, everyone thought it'd be a repeat of the round one encounter na kung saan natambak ang Ateneo. But apparently, it was the complete opposite.
Grabe. Well, okay. So there's a lot of discussion of how a LaSalle would lose a game. It would take them to play bad and the other team to play really, really good. Was that what pretty much what happened for Ateneo?
That was pretty much the case nga. Actually, nakita yung tweet ng master statistician natin sa UAAP, si Pong Dugan. Sabi niya, Ateneo, season high in field goal percentage, inside points, fast break points. Yung LaSalle naman, season lows naman in points, field goals, and blocks. So, kita natin talaga na even though Ateneo had a great game plan, nakita natin that they were really able to execute and beat that press. LaSalle also missed a lot of shots that they normally would have made, so that really contributed to that loss.
28% field goal shooting ang LaSalle. I can't even...
Ben Hembala no made shots in the first half.
And he was 5 of 13. You know, even if you'd say LaSalle would have a bad shooting day, I'd probably say maybe 30%, 35%, 32%, but 28%.
And you think naman, kasi they get a lot of their points on the inside of turnovers. And so if they don't get that shot and they're forced into the half court, medyo hindi pa sila sanay, I guess, to playing in the half court.
Yun na nga, does this show a weakness in LaSalle's half-court game?
It could, and it will also be a part of Ateneo also pushing the tempo and also pressing a little bit against LaSalle, because as we know, teams that like to press don't necessarily like being pressed back. And that was sort of the case here.
Okay. Let's look at individual performers and non-performers. For Ateneo, Aaron Black finally, you know, two back-to-back good games
since he came back from
the injury. They slowly worked him back in the rotation. How big has he been back in for Ateneo?
I'm sure medyo gigil din siya because he wasn't there in the first round game. So he has extra ammunition coming in. I think what's so versatile about Aaron Black's game is that, you know, he can shoot, he can handle the ball, and he also provides some defense with his ability to leap and block and maybe deter some shots. And, you know, putting him on the court along with Adrian Wong and Thirdy Ravenna, that's three wing guys who can play all three positions, who have great wingspan that they can, you know, play the passing lanes. So when they have all three of them at the court at the same time, other teams have a hard time attacking that sort of defensive lineup. So that was a factor, I think, in this game.
Another interesting guy, second leading scorer for Ateneo, 15 points in 24 minutes. For me, the biggest surprise of Ateneo this year, really, Matt Nieto. Still the guy who seems to really fit this system of Coach Tab, and he's just getting the most out of him.
And I think nakita rin natin to last season under Coach Bo Perasol when he was named the starting point guard, because people were saying, you know, he doesn't have that well of an offensive game yet at that point, but he's a steady ball handler. And, you know, he's played against the Zobel press, and he last year played against the LaSalle press back then, not yet the Mayhem press, but the press nonetheless. So for me, that was not that surprising kasi nga, he has the experience playing against that kind of defense.
At least in being a steady point guard. But he's now pouring in points.
That's the surprise. Exactly.
So where is this coming from? Is this just benefited by just playing well in the system, or knowing him from his high school days, he can't score?
Well, that's one thing. He's a scorer in high school. Pero one thing na napansin ko rin is that with Ateneo guys, if you look at last season also, there are always people who suddenly pop up in the second round. Last year, si Wong, si Black, they were contributors in round 2. This season, as you mentioned, Nieto, also Isaac Go and Rafi Verano are all of a sudden in round 2 big-time contributors and big parts of Coach Tab's rotation. So for me, it might be a part of really accepting their role in the coach tab system, or maybe just getting more familiar with what the team wants them to do.
You touched on it a bit. Isaac goes huge, 10 points, 7 rebounds, and just the physical presence that he presented against Ben Mbala. How big was he for Ateneo?
Besides not just go, like also Ike, as we mentioned, and G-Boy Babilonia before he got
those
hurt.
3 guys, yeah.
I think we were discussing this kanina. One thing Ateneo has that other teams don't have is they have multiple 6'6" centers that can, if not defend Mbala, at least like make him stop and think
medyo malapad-lapad.
The other teams here, they have one foreign center na matangkad, but then the rest of their lineup, they're undersized. So that's one thing going for Ateneo, that they can throw a guy who has the height and the length and the bulk to really challenge Mbala all the time whenever he's on the court.
All right. Well, you're looking at LaSalle. Jeron Tengsin had his 18 points. Mbala had 17, even though it was a bad shooting day of 5 of 13. Is this a sign that they can't just rely on these 2 guys to carry them? Because in their wins, we've seen balanced scoring, 4, 5, even 6 guys in double digits. Does this tell something about the Salle na hindi kayo pwedeng umasa sa kanilang dalawa lang?
Definitely. Kasi as you mentioned, when you look at their past games, there's always a third guy. Diba? We've seen games na it's Richie Rivero or Aljon Melesio, Kim Montalvo. In this game, Montalvo had a really bad shooting night. Thomas Torres also had a bad shooting night. Richie Rivero didn't get on the court that much. Abu Trotter was 1 of 9.
Yeah.
So it really does go to show na parang maybe if you're playing the odds, maybe you give Jeron and Mbala their opportunities and try to lock down the rest of the team to see if that's the strategy moving forward.
Oh well, so that's that now. So no more sweep. We're gonna have a real Final Four. We're gonna put step ladder, and amazing huge win for Ateneo. Let's see if they can keep this momentum going up against FU tomorrow. Let's touch a bit on the chances of NU and UP. How are they still in it, and what are the chances for them to make it?
The chances are kind of low because it's hindi sa hands nila yung fate nila, diba?
Okay.
Because of the scheduling wherein may na-cancel na set of games, NU and UP only have 1 game remaining, whereas Adamson has 3. So that's a huge advantage talaga. Adamson tomorrow plays UST, if I'm not mistaken, and UST is in the lower tier of the teams.
They're out.
They're out basically.
They're out
so
too,
if UST does not have the spoiler role really clinched in, Adamson, if they win tomorrow, I think they basically
that's it.
They're done. The Final Four has been arranged.
Correct.
Yung order lang siguro yung natitira.
Correct.
So UP and NU fans, I think tomorrow they'll be watching the games really closely, maybe with rosaries in their hands, hoping
or
that
maybe
the
even
odds
be
are
there
in
and
their
cheer
favor.
for UST. So yun na nga. So tama pagkintindi ko, Adamson has to lose out.
That's 3 games.
Yeah, because they're 6 and 5 right now. Yeah,
exactly.
So they have to lose to, if I'm not mistaken, it's
UST,
NU,
and Ateneo. The makeup game of the cancelled
So
games.
the most winnable one for them would be UST tomorrow, and I don't think Friends and the Adamson Falcons will play soft. They're going to play that hard and really go for that.
Syempre, you want to clinch it na kaagad.
Correct. So we'll see what happens there tomorrow. All right, well, that's it for that discussion. Catch him on nba.com.ph and plug pa ng kanyang bagong trabaho. And of course, on Twitter at Chinahoop.
TJ Manot's articles are also
Yes, we're there too. Boss, salamat. See you again next time.
Hi guys, keep watching The Score for the latest sports updates and don't forget to subscribe to the ABS-CBN Sports in Action YouTube channel.